Welcome to Charts Today Energy. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 24th of October, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the markets. Recovered in equity markets in Asia. The US recovered off its lows yesterday, and European markets up this morning. But interestingly, we are seeing the early opening rises that we saw in Germany just fading away, and the futures for the US market are lower. So sentiment globally is still pretty poor. Big moves in the crude oil price yesterday. Dollar index actually looking quite strong and holding on to its bullishness. The euro against the dollar actually looking weak and falling away again this morning, activating that downside target to 112. So we are seeing now the euro just looking weaker against the dollar. Dollar actually recovered its strength against the yen. The yen was looking quite strong yesterday, and sterling falling lower at below that 130 mark with targets to 126, 128. And against the euro, sterling up slightly this morning. So we are just seeing that. The other one was gold, rose very sharply yesterday. So we are just seeing a flight to the precious metal, and US 10-year yields sitting steady at 3.14% in the US. Taking a look at the energy mix, we start with Brent crude, big fall away yesterday, and we see that in the 60-minute chart. Really dived there and then steadied this morning and then falling away again, coming under pressure. 76.18 we've seen as the low point. Looking at the 1 minute targets on the point and figure chart, 73.50 is a downside target. So we are, and these targets being exceeded is bearish. So we are seeing crude oil just falling away there. Stronger dollar, weaker crude. So we are seeing that kicking in. Correlation there is also showing. Looking at WTI, much the same picture, of course. We've got a new downside at 58, which is 12% lower. We'd have to move lower than the levels we've seen this morning at 66.20. Let's say a move below 66 would herald bigger falls still. So crude oil looking pretty bearish at the moment on that short and medium term time frame. Looking at US nat gas, looking sharply stronger this morning at $3.22. So nat gas is really bucking the trend at the moment. So that's also quite key. Coal is up slightly. So we're seeing here we're at 97.84. This is off Thomson Reuters icon. Remember, if you've got Trayport, you'll have slightly different charts because you'll have higher liquidity in the coal market. But we are seeing here coal staging a little bit of a short-term recovery, so looking to hold its gains there. Also, emissions up quite sharply this morning, up just under, just over 2/3%. And so looking bullish there, and the short-term targets for emissions kicking in. We've got 1 to 20 euros, which is now pretty key. Back to the level that we saw last week. Looking at gas prices were hit yesterday in the turmoil, but recovering quite well this morning. So we're seeing at the open MBP up 0.4%. This is the ICE contract, of course. Looking at the short-term targets on MBP, 67.60 was the downside target. That's still hanging over us, so despite this morning's recovery, we could see a move back towards that level. And TTF also looking stronger this morning, but the downside targets here are a little bit clearer. 25.20 was nearly met, and 24.65 is still hanging over us, and the trend is down. So don't be surprised to see on the chart perspective, gas prices just starting to roll over. And we're looking at the daily chart here. Does look like we're seeing a gradual deterioration in price from the highs that we saw in September. NCG in Germany we're seeing is down this morning, so that's quite key. We saw yesterday that fell away quite sharply, and Italian gas also fell quite sharply as well. German power this morning up 0.75%, so looking a little bit better. Target of 53.80. And in this chart versus the gas charts, just looks like it's recovering a little bit of its composure. could be a consolidation pattern before another big move. So looking relatively good there as well. Taking a look at Nordic Power, also building a base here, looking a little bit stronger this morning. On the 1 minute chart, we have upside of 39.25, 43.10. We do have these downside targets hanging over us, but it looks like we're making a move towards those upside targets. Just taking a look at Polish Power, we see here also just been an interesting one because we've got upside targets and a downside target that did emerge yesterday, but looking better there on Polish Power. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.